The sun was barely cresting the horizon, painting the calm waters of Willow Creek in hues of gold and amber, when a shrill voice shattered the morning's peace. "You can't just waltz into this neighborhood without approval." The words sliced through the air like a blade, spat by a woman storming across my lawn with the audacity of someone who'd never heard the word no. She was in her late 50s, her ash-blonde bob impeccably styled, her crisp blazer an odd choice for the humid August heat of 2024. Clutched in her manicured hands was a clipboard, wielded like a scepter. Her name was Evelyn Harper, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, and she was about to turn my family's new beginning into a nightmare. I'm Nathan Caldwell, and my family had just arrived at our Riverside cottage in upstate New York, a property my grandfather had owned since the 1960s. My 9-year-old daughter, Lily, was clutching her stuffed rabbit and a sketch pad, her eyes wide with excitement, until Evelyn's tirade began. "I'm calling the police." Evelyn barked, already dialing. "We have intruders at 214 Riverside Lane." Before I could explain that this was our home, 2 squad cars pulled up, their lights flashing. Lily froze, her small hands tightening around her rabbit as officers approached, treating us like squatters. All I could do was place a hand on her shoulder and whisper, "It's okay, sweetheart." But it wasn't. This was supposed to be our sanctuary, a fresh start after a brutal divorce. Instead, we were targets of a woman who thrived on control. Evelyn's accusations were relentless. "This cottage is a disgrace," she sneered, pointing at the weather dock my grandfather built and the vibrant wildflower garden my grandmother had tended. "That dock's too long, the paint's non-compliant, and those flowers? Unapproved." I tried to stay calm, explaining that my family had owned this land for decades, but Evelyn's eyes gleamed with malicious glee. "Rules have changed, Mr. Caldwell. You need permits, compliance forms, and landscaping approval. Without them, you're trespassing." She dialed the police again, claiming unauthorized occupancy. Lily's voice trembled behind me. "Daddy, why is she so mad?" My heart sank. This wasn't just bureaucracy, it was personal. The officers, led by a weary Sergeant Daniels, quickly saw through Evelyn's theatrics. I showed them the deed, notarized just weeks ago, proving our ownership. Daniel sighed, turning to Evelyn. "Ma'am, he's the legal owner. Unless there's a crime, we're done here." Her face flushed crimson, but as the police left, Daniels pulled me aside, his voice low. "Watch your back, sir. You're the 4th family she's targeted this year." The oath's a teacher, and a young couple didn't last a month. His words chilled me. What had happened to them? And what kind of war were we walking into? The next morning, a thick envelope was wedged in my doorframe, labeled Willow Creek HOA Welcome Package in Evelyn's sharp handwriting. Inside was a 50-page rulebook, a labyrinth of restrictions. Grass couldn't exceed 2 inches, no wind chimes, no exterior paint without approval. I needed permission to hang a birdhouse. By noon, Evelyn was back, taping neon violation notices to my mailbox. $60 for unapproved flora, $80 for a non-regulation mailbox, $100 for failure to submit landscaping plans. She even fined me $40 for a hand-carved bench my grandfather made. As she snapped photos of my grandmother's garden like a crime scene investigator, Lily watched from the porch, her rabbit clutched tight. "Are we in trouble, Daddy?" she whispered. I knelt beside her, forcing a smile. "Just some silly rules, kiddo." But inside, I was seething. This was harassment, plain and simple. I began watching my neighbors, hoping for allies, but most avoided me, their eyes darting away as they passed the notices plastered on my property. One woman with a stroller crossed the street to avoid me. The isolation was suffocating, a deliberate tactic to break us. But then a small act of kindness broke through. An elderly man, George Ellison, ambled up my driveway with 2 mugs of chamomile tea. "Your grandfather called them river tyrants," he said, nodding toward Evelyn's house. They offered him $1.5 million for this place in 2002. He refused. I frowned. Why would he turn down that kind of money? What was he protecting? Evelyn's campaign escalated at an emergency HOA meeting a week later. The community center was packed, the air thick with tension. Evelyn stood at a projector, Her slideshow, a hit list of my cottage's violations. My dock, my garden, my home each was a crime against her vision of suburban perfection. The Caldwell property threatens our community's value, she declared, her voice dripping with righteous fury. When I stood to speak, my voice steady despite the eyes boring into me. I told them about my grandfather's dock, my grandmother's flowers, the love woven into this land. Evelyn cut me off. Sentiment doesn't trump rules, Mr. Caldwell. The vote to demolish my dock passed 14-9. Lily's quiet sobs in the back row broke my heart. This wasn't about rule sit, it was about erasing our history. That night, Lily showed me a drawing. 2 figures on a cloud, floating above our cottage, as if forced to flee. If we lose this place, I won't have you anymore, will I? She asked, her voice small. I hugged her tightly, whispering, we're not going anywhere. But doubt gnawed at me. Could I fight this? Then I remembered George's words and turned to my grandfather's old cedar chest. I'd always thought it held photos, maybe old letters. But as I pried it open, my hands trembling, I found a legal arsenal. Deeds, maps, letters, all meticulously organized. A folder labeled HOA Keep Safe held a notarized document from 2001 declaring our property exempt from the HOA, predating its formation by 25 years. My grandfather had foreseen this fight, outsmarting developers and bullies like Evelyn decades ago. I called his old lawyer, Henry Walsh, who confirmed the document's validity. Your grandfather knew they'd come for you, he said, chuckling. How big do you want to play this? I thought of Lily's tears, the family's driven away. As big as it gets, I replied. Evelyn's final notice arrived the next day. Remove the dock in 24 hours or face $250 daily fines. I smiled, clutching my grandfather's papers. She'd set her own trap. The HOA meeting that night was a spectacle. Evelyn, smug and commanding, unveiled a slideshow of my corrected property dock gone, garden paved, cottage beige. I waited, my folder in hand, until she was at her peak, then stood. Mrs. Harper, this community needs to see something. I held up the 2001 letter, my voice ringing. My property is not, and has never been, under HOA jurisdiction. Every fine, every notice, every threat you've made is illegal harassment. The room went silent. Evelyn's face drained of color as I laid out deeds, maps, and letters proving her authority was a sham. You've built your power on lies, I told the crowd. How many of you have paid fines you didn't know? Chaos erupted, neighbors shouting, board members panicking. I turned to Evelyn. Remove your notices and apologize within 24 hours, or you'll face consequences you can't imagine. By midnight, the board voted 11-1 to oust her. Evelyn's lone vote, a pathetic last stand. But Evelyn wasn't done. 3 days later, a city tow truck arrived to seize my grandfather's fishing boat, reported by Evelyn as an environmental hazard. Lily, filming a nature vlog, caught it all, her voice cracking. Why are they taking Grandpa's boat? Evelyn watched from her porch, gloating. This is what happens when you defy rules, she shouted. But her rant spiraled, years of resentment pouring out. That old man ruined my life. This could have been a luxury estate, not some rundown shack. I lost my commission dollar, $1.5 million. Neighbors stared, horrified. One recorded her meltdown. Lily's camera caught every word. By evening, the video was viral, Evelyn's reputation in tatters. The HOA banned her from all activities, but her stunt pushed me to dig deeper into my grandfather's files. That's when I found it, a 1983 easement proving my family owned the private road, the only access to the entire HOA neighborhood. For 40 years, Evelyn and her neighbors had been trespassing on our land. I could gate it, trap them all, and make them beg for access. In court, Walsh presented the easement, and the judge ruled swiftly. The road was mine. Evelyn's lawsuit collapsed, her face a mask of horror as she realized her neighborhood depended on my mercy. I installed a gate, forest green, with a sign, Caldwell Family Road. No trespassing. Lily added a smaller one, Grandpa's Rules. Neighbors lined up, pleading, but I felt the weight of power. Evelyn deserved ruin, but 50 families didn't. As I sat on my grandfather's bench, the river glinting under the stars, I faced a choice. Evelyn had traumatized Lily, stolen our boat, driven others away. I could close the gate, make them all pay. Or I could negotiate, sparing the innocent, but letting Evelyn off too easily. Justice tasted sweet, but power was heavy. What would you do? Close the gate and make them suffer, or open it and risk Evelyn's next move? Should Nathan crush the community to punish one woman, or find another way to make her pay? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic showdowns.